Nathan, then with your college experience at Oregon State, then what were you looking for? Was a goal for the Olympics and trying to get on the U.S. team? What was it from there?
Yeah, absolutely. So as a youngster, I think the dream is for wrestlers to make it in the Olympics, right? To gold medal at the Olympics, and that was always the goal. That at some point, even when I didn't think I was going to qualify for Division I wrestling, I thought about joining the Army and joining the WCAP. That was the goal. Was always to be an Olympian. Well, that's not easy. You got to be the number one guy in the country, and you have to almost have a lot of help to get there. Because some people. It's a tough journey. But that was the goal from day one, was to make it in the Olympics. So from Oregon State, my wife and I, who I married right after college, we moved to Colorado Springs and trained at the Olympic Training Center. And I got my experience there. And really that's what transitioned to MMA, is once I realized I could wrestle with the best in the world, why not fight? And at that time too, I might have gotten into MMA. I had an opportunity to fight Chris Leben in 2003. At a show in Portland there, and this MMA stuff isn't going to work.
It wasn't as big back then, right?
2 years later, that Ultimate Fighter broke, and then you realize, wow, there's possibilities in the sport to make money, make a living, and it made sense after being a couple years at the Olympic Training Center, going through the circuit there of trying to make the Olympics, that maybe this route might be a good way to go. Got into MMA and fell in love with it. Just as much as I love wrestling, I probably do enjoy MMA more, just because there's just so much. There are so many possibilities in the sport. It's wrestling times 8. All the different styles. And then you're just compressing it into your own unique style, and it could be any. What's great right now is you're seeing a bunch of different styles in MMA, and that's what makes it awesome.
Were there anyone in college or even in high school or growing up that have gone on to the MMA that you've seen competing and all, that you've trained with, worked with, or even competed against?
Yeah, lots of people, lots of people. I mean, she's out here in this room here at Muhammad Lal. We train at the Olympic Training Center. Henry Cejudo was at the training center. He's fighting for the 125-pound belt against Demetrius Johnson. Countless, man. I mean, I really was my whole life just around just good freaking dudes, man. Like just committed people, Chael Sonnen was my teammate at Team Quest. Matt Lenlin was my, there in Portland. Randy Couture recruited me into college at Oregon State, and then
really, that's interesting too. So
funny story too with Randy Couture. He was told in 1998, so he recruited me, and then that summer, our head coach at the time, Joe Wells, said to him, look, you got to pick between this MMA sport or, being committed to being a wrestling coach here for us. And Randy Couture chose MMA, and it ended up being a good decision for him,
What was Chael like?
Chael's a great dude. He's
was he outspoken back then too, or?
I mean, you can tell he's an outspoken, person, but he's more. He's actually kind of a thinker. He observes, and he'll actually, when he talks, you want to listen because it's going to be important. What you see out him is him selling fights. I mean, he realized, I think, from watching all that WWE, that promotion is really a big part of the sport, and he kind of led the way in that way. You got to sell your fight. It's important to make people interested. It's the only way we're going to have a living in this sport.
He seems like a guy, too, that he's not going to sugarcoat anything. He's just going to tell things straight up. I mean, other than the promotional side, that's one thing. But, I mean, if you're just talking with him, he's not going to be like, you're doing good.
Absolutely.
He's going to be like, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is why.
There's no fluff. Yeah, you're going to listen to it, and what he says is, you got to listen to it. He's a thoughtful person, smart.
Now, you mentioned WWE. I wanted to throw a little bit there. Did you ever think of trying? You see how big that's become. Did you ever think of, hey, maybe I should try to give this a shot?
No, I've always thought of WWE as theatrics. Never. I enjoyed it when I was a kid, but.
Well, you were in the California, Portland area, so I mean, I could think of guys like Roddy Piper and
Roddy Piper's son trained with us at Team Quest.
Really?
Yeah. Colt Toombs.
Did Roddy ever come around because his son was there?
Rowdy is actually a great person, man. Like, really sincere. I mean, he'd sit in the show, watch his boy, and loved the sport of MMA. I mean, really good dude. Like, you know, there's some people you just know right away when you meet him, and he had that aura. He was just a good, solid individual.
What was his son like as a competitor?
Same, and very good competitor. Very, very tough. But he left many options on his plate. He could do anything. He was raised by good parents.
Now, speaking of family, you mentioned parents. Speaking of family, you have 2 little ones,
Yes.
and they're 6 and 3.
Yes.
What's it like having? Obviously, they're not watching the fights; they're so little, but they do come out here when you're training sometimes. What is it like seeing Dad out here and all the people out here at American Top Team?
I mean, that's what I love about our gym, man, is from the beginning, they've always been okay having my kids posted up at the side of the mat watching the practices. It's a very family-oriented, gym atmosphere. We have fighters bring their kids in, and they're all playing on the outside of the mats while we're training, and it's awesome, man. To bring your kids to work, you can't beat that, right? It's awesome.
What do you think if the kids or any family members and all, has anyone had interest, cousins, other relatives, of getting into MMA or even amateur wrestling in your family?
Yeah, I think I didn't realize this, but growing up I had family in Oregon that were into amateur wrestling, and I didn't know them growing up, though. That's not why I wrestled, but yeah, it's in our blood,
What did your dad think when all of a sudden you got into Oregon State and you did very well there, and then MMA?
Very happy. I mean, he's always had a plan for me to do. He invested a lot of time into me to make it to where I am. I owe everything to my father, and my father was he was the guy who led by example. He didn't talk about nothing. He showed me how to do it. He came back from framing houses all day, and we went on a workout, and this is since 8. I mean, I've done workouts at 8, 9 years old that are as hard as they are today, and that was with my dad. Jumping rope 30 minutes straight. I was doing that at about 12, 13 years old, I mean, a whole bunch of stuff. That guy's an animal.
And what does your brother think of all this and then getting to see you and all?
I have 2 brothers, and they both, they're just happy for me. They're brothers, They would care less about this sport. They love me for who I am.
What can you say about this big event? We're going to wrap this up. We got UFC Fight Night 83 on Fox Sports 1 at the Council Energy Center in Pittsburgh, Sunday night, February 21st. You're there representing Nathan Coy. You're also representing American Top Team. What does this moment mean for you?
I mean, every moment is significant, but this is the top of the mountain, man. I mean, I go from here. I extend my career out, the career I love passionately, and so it means everything. But it's also, I put a lot into this. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm going to go in there, UFC 83, Fight Night 83, and I'm going to leave it all on the line. I've improved so much in the last couple of months, and I really want to show the world what I'm capable of, and that's what I'm going to do against Jonavin Webb. I'm going to leave my heart in that cage. I'm going to give him hell.
Nathan, thank you so much for the time. Go get him on Sunday.
Jim, thank you for your time.